How to make a woman choose you, even if she has many options, psychology tricks. Picture this. She could be talking to 10 different men, but when her phone is quiet and her mind wanders, you are the one she thinks about. Not because you begged for her time, not because you chased her, but because something about you quietly stands above the rest. Love is not about finding the right person, but about becoming the right person. That's exactly what we're going to tap into. I'm going to walk you through how to build that subtle psychological pull that makes a woman feel drawn to you without pressure or persuasion. You'll see why most men blend into the background without noticing, and how a few simple shifts in how you think, act, and carry yourself can turn you into the man she naturally chooses, with clarity, not confusion. If you want her attention, her attraction, and ultimately her decision to pick you over the others, this is where it starts. 1. Confidence without neediness. Confidence without neediness is the heart of real attraction and the secret most men overlook. Because too many men think being confident means being loud, bragging, flexing achievements, or trying to impress her with status. But that's not confidence, that's camouflage. True confidence is quiet but undeniable. It's the posture of a high value man, the kind who walks into a room and doesn't need anyone to notice him for him to feel valuable. It's the subtle force of masculine energy that says, I am already complete. I don't need you, but I enjoy being here. That is what attracts women deeply. Don't try to perform. Don't push for attention. Don't ask for validation. You must understand, neediness kills attraction faster than bad looks or bad jokes ever will. A needy man sends out the emotional equivalent of smoke from a burning building. Women sense it instantly, even if they can't explain why. And they walk away fast. That's because neediness whispers, my happiness depends on you. My worth depends on your response. That is pressure. Pressure suffocates attraction. But the man who is calm, centered, and fulfilled before she enters the picture, that man radiates freedom. And freedom is intoxicating. This doesn't mean acting cold or distant. It means having a full life, a life with purpose, focus, direction, discipline, friendships, ambition, and standards. A life where you are the main character, not an extra searching for a role in someone else's story. Women love a man like that because he brings masculine energy that isn't desperate. Be that man. Be present, but not pressed. Be playful, not performative. Be kind, but never clingy. That is the paradox of attraction. When you stop chasing, they start leaning in. The moment you make her the center of your emotional world is the moment she starts drifting away from it. Women aren't looking for a worshiper, they're looking for a grounded, strong, independent partner who challenges them and inspires them. A high-value man does not orbit around a woman. He invites her into his world, but only if she respects the rules of it. Don't explain yourself endlessly. Don't text paragraphs to prove your intentions. Don't panic when she pulls back a little. Stay composed. Hold your ground. Maintain your routine. Keep building your mission. That is the strongest psychological trick in attraction, emotional self-sufficiency. A woman will test you, sometimes without knowing it. She will send mixed signals. She will ask provocative questions. She will delay responses. She will tease, challenge, or even ignore you for a moment, not because she enjoys mind games, but because she's instinctively searching for strength. She wants to know, can this man handle emotional pressure? Or will he crumble and plead? If you flinch, you fail. If you stay calm, you win. Women don't want to control a man. They want to trust him. And trust only exists when stability is present. Don't forget this. Attraction isn't built with words. It is built with energy. You must be attractive before you try to attract women. Don't try to prove your worth. Simply live your worth. When you walk into a room with certainty, when you speak with intention, when your actions reflect discipline, women notice, even when they pretend not to. A man who laughs easily, thinks deeply, listens well, and doesn't chase approval radiates strength. That strength is comforting and challenge is exciting. That blend is irresistible. That is masculine energy at its finest. A man like that doesn't ask, do you like me? He asks, do we align? Do we add value to each other's lives? That is how a high-value man thinks. And when a woman realizes she has to earn your attention, not just receive it automatically, she feels something rare: respect. Respect turns into curiosity. Curiosity turns into desire. Desire, when met with stability, turns into devotion. It all starts with emotional independence. You must build your world before you invite someone into it. You must be anchored if you expect her to trust your direction. You must be able to walk away peacefully, or you will never stand strong confidently. Remember, options don't threaten a man of value because he knows who he is. And when you know who you are, the right woman will see it and choose you, precisely because she can feel that you don't need her to breathe. That is the real secret. Stop chasing. Start becoming. That is how you attract women, not by force, but by presence. And presence, when rooted in unwavering self-worth, is the ultimate proof of a high-value man. 2. Caring and needing. Caring is powerful. Needing is dangerous. That is the line every man must learn to see clearly if he ever wants to truly understand female psychology and master the real psychology tricks behind attraction. You can care about a woman deeply, genuinely, even passionately, and still stand tall as your own man. But the moment your sense of worth begins to depend on how she responds, you've crossed into neediness, and that's when the ground starts to shake beneath your feet. Women have a quiet radar for emotional dependence. They might not always explain it, but they feel it. And you must understand this truth if you want to know how to fall in love without losing yourself in the process. Caring is strength. Needing is weakness. One draws her in. The other pushes her away. Be the man who cares from a place of abundance. That is the secret most men never master. Don't shower her with attention because you're afraid to lose her. Give attention because you are emotionally rich, fulfilled, and selective. Don't compliment her hoping she'll like you. Compliment her because you're already confident in who you are, with or without her. Confidence without neediness is not pretending you don't care. It's living like your life is already meaningful before she enters it. A woman must feel that she is being invited into your world, not rescued from hers. These are real psychology tricks, not manipulation, but alignment with human nature. In female psychology, curiosity is far more powerful than certainty. When she senses that you care but don't depend, she leans in, not out. She wonders about you. She thinks of you when you're not there. She asks herself, why doesn't he need me? And that question is the spark of how to fall in love. Think of your attention as currency. Spend it wisely. Invest it, don't waste it. Don't give it away all at once. A high-value investor never dumps everything into one stock, and a high-value man never dumps all his emotions into one person he barely knows. Be attentive, but not attached. Be present, but not desperate. That is the emotional balance that creates gravitational pull. Women are drawn to men who are steady, not shaky. To men who can walk beside them, not men who cling to them. This isn't a cold strategy. It's basic female psychology. A woman wants to feel chosen, but she never wants to feel responsible for your self-worth. You must own that before love has a chance to grow. Imagine a campfire. It doesn't chase anyone. It simply burns, warm, bright, steady. People gather around it because they feel something from its presence. That is what true masculine presence feels like to a woman. Calm, centered, powerful without effort. No words needed. That is one of the most powerful psychology tricks. Your emotional stability is more attractive than your looks, money, or charm combined. She should feel safe in your strength, but never locked inside your insecurity. She should sense that your life stands on solid ground, and if she leaves tomorrow, nothing collapses. That awareness makes her respect you, and respect opens the door to desire. Don't mistake detachment for indifference. Don't act cold just to appear strong. That is insecurity wearing a leather jacket. Be warm, be kind, be intentional, but don't seek permission to exist. Let her see that you can give attention without asking for emotional oxygen in return. That is real confidence. And in a world full of noise, that makes you unforgettable. When a woman senses abundance in you, abundance of purpose, discipline, friendships, passions, she becomes curious. Curiosity is the beginning of how to fall in love. She wants to discover more. She wants to step into your rhythm, understand your world, feel your energy. This is not manipulation. It's alignment with evolution and female psychology. You're not chasing. You're attracting. You're not begging. You're choosing. A man who masters this balance, being fully present yet never dependent, becomes rare. Rare men stand out, especially when she has options. Any man can buy dinner. Any man can send flowers. But a man who gives her attention without emotional debt? That man shines in a crowd. You must be willing to walk away with dignity if respect fades. That is strength she never forgets. And when she knows she has to earn your emotional presence, attraction increases like a flame fed by oxygen. That is one of the most powerful psychology tricks of all. Show her that your life is full, and she'll want a place within it. But try to make her your oxygen, and she'll run toward open air. So care, but don't depend. Give, but don't beg. Invite, but don't chase. Be the man who stands on his own 2 feet and welcomes a partner, not a savior. That is emotional maturity. That is quiet power. And that is how to fall in love with dignity, confidence, and a deep understanding of female psychology. If this hit home, like the video, share it and make your voice heard below. Comment to lock it in. Care from strength, never from need. 3. Emotional independence. Emotional independence is the hidden weapon of attraction. Most men overlook it, misunderstand it, or run from it, but it is the backbone of masculine power, the silent force that makes a woman choose you even when she has options. Don't confuse emotional independence with being cold, distant, or emotionless. That is weakness disguised as strength. True independence is mastery over your emotional world. It is the ability to regulate your own energy, your own mood, your own sense of worth without waiting for her text, her attention, or her approval. That is real strength. That is Old Stoic wisdom in action. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That is the essence of emotional independence. When you embody it, you don't panic when she goes quiet. You don't lose your frame when she tests you. You don't obsess over her reactions. You stand centered, grounded, calm, because your identity isn't for sale. That is a man with an iron mind. That is Stoicism win. Modern life is full of distractions, text messages, social media, endless comparison, but a man with emotional independence rises above the noise. He doesn't need validation. He chooses alignment. He doesn't chase, he creates. He doesn't fold under pressure. He sharpens under pressure. Women instinctively sense it because this energy cannot be faked, no filter, no rehearsed line, no pickup trick can replicate it. Emotional independence says, I am complete as I am. I choose you, but I do not need you. And paradoxically, when a woman senses that you aren't dependent, she trusts you more, respects you more, desires you more. That is the strange paradox of attraction. Neediness repels, but choice attracts. Don't beg. Don't chase. Don't cling. Let her feel that being with you is a privilege, not an escape. As Nietzsche said, he who cannot command himself will always remain a servant. Let that echo in your mind every time you feel the urge to overreact, overthink, or overpursue. You must learn to pause, assess, and respond, not react. Train your emotional muscles as fiercely as you train your body. Become still when others are chaotic. Breathe deeply when others are panicked. Master your state. That is emotional independence. That is Old Stoic wisdom applied to modern dating. Emotional independence is not detachment, it is control. It is being able to feel everything and still choose your response. Don't allow jealousy, fear, or insecurity to control your actions. A reactive man loses attraction instantly, no matter his looks, no matter his income. A woman will test you to see if your center is real. And when you remain composed, her respect grows silently. Emotional independence creates boundaries without needing confrontation. It creates desire without needing control. It creates depth without needing reassurance. In modern life, this is rare, and rarity creates value. If you are emotionally independent, you become the man she looks at differently, the man she thinks about when she lies awake. The man she wants, not because he needs her, but because he doesn't. Let your presence speak louder than your words. Speak from calm authority. Listen without seeking approval. Maintain your direction in life, your mission, your growth, your discipline. That is old Stoic wisdom moving through you. That is Stoicism win. That is the iron mind that bends but never breaks. Don't crumble when challenges hit, expect them. Don't fall apart when life tests your frame, welcome the test. Women don't want a man who avoids storms. They want the one who walks through storms untouched. As Seneca said, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. So live courageously. Lead your emotions, or they will lead you. Build your world before inviting her into it. Create your purpose before offering her a place beside it. She must feel that your life has momentum before her, with her, and even without her. That is power. That is masculinity. And when you embody this, your presence becomes magnetic. Your silence speaks. Your eyes communicate certainty. Your energy suggests depth. You become unforgettable, not because you sought validation, but because you mastered the art of self-sufficiency. This is emotional independence. This is attraction at its highest form. And this is your command. Do not surrender your emotional control ever. Build the iron mind. Apply old Stoic wisdom daily. Stand firm, choose boldly, lead with purpose. The world respects the man who owns himself, and so will she. 4. Mystery and intrigue. Mystery and intrigue are not hobbies. They're psychological weapons in the arsenal of a high-value man who knows how to attract women without begging for attention. Most men rush to impress, dumping their life story like a resume shoved in someone's face, thinking openness equals connection. Don't do that. Don't reveal your whole world too fast. When you overshare every routine, every emotion, every childhood memory just to prove you're genuine, you don't create connection, you destroy curiosity. And curiosity is the spark that fuels desire. That is the rule most men never understand. A woman does not fall for you because she knows everything about you. She falls because she wants to know more. That subtle difference separates the ordinary from the irresistible. Be the man she thinks about when she's alone. Be the man she pauses for when she sees your name pop up. Be the story she wants to read, but hasn't yet finished. That is masculine energy in motion, silent, steady, undeniable. Attraction isn't just about what you show. It's about what you don't show. Give her glimpses, not documentaries. A high-value man reveals himself like a great movie trailer, just enough to make her imagine the rest. Imagination works harder than words. When you share a moment, a lesson, or a story without spelling out every detail, you allow her mind to fill in the blanks. And when her imagination participates, her emotions participate too. You must understand this. Once she starts thinking about you when you're not around, you're no longer trying to attract women. You've already succeeded. That is the moment you occupy a unique psychological space in her mind, and no other man can copy it. Most men lose power because they think availability equals affection. Don't explain yourself too much. Don't announce your every move. Don't always reply instantly. A man who is always online, always accessible, always predictable does not signal strength. He signals loneliness. Masculine energy thrives on purpose. When your life is already full, your goals, your passions, your growth, she feels a quiet tension when she's with you. Where does this man's fire come from, and can I be part of it? That is how a high-value man naturally attracts women, not by begging for attention, but by living with intention. A woman values what requires effort. She craves what is slightly out of reach. She notices what not every eye sees. When she can't instantly figure you out, her mind starts working overtime. She replays conversations, analyzes small gestures, reads into moments you didn't even realize were moments. And that mental investment is the beginning of emotional attachment. You must let her wonder, not to manipulate, but to engage. Don't build a wall. Build layers. Don't hide, let her discover. When you focus on your ambitions, maintain your space, and act with calm confidence, you create intrigue effortlessly. You don't need to claim that you're a high-value man. Your actions prove it. Your masculine energy speaks louder than any compliment you give her. She starts seeing your presence as an experience, not a convenience. That is rare. And people chase rarity. You must understand that mystery is not coldness, it's pacing. It's letting her uncover your world piece by piece, allowing her curiosity to pull her closer instead of your effort pushing her away. A woman who feels she hasn't unlocked all of you yet will keep returning because unfinished business has magnetism. Don't brag about your life, live it. Let your attention be selective. Let your silence carry meaning. Let your unpredictability have rhythm. She will start feeling something she can't explain, a pull, a fascination, a need to figure you out. And when she feels that, she's no longer comparing you to other options. You are no longer one of many. You're the one she's trying to understand. That is the moment you truly attract women, not through games, but through genuine depth and intentional restraint. Remember, mystery must be natural, not forced. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. Don't act distant for the sake of appearing cool. Authentic intrigue is simply this: live fully, speak selectively, and let your life create the questions. When you hold your space with quiet confidence, when you pursue growth without seeking validation, when you reveal pieces of yourself slowly and meaningfully, she feels something powerful. This man could change my life if he lets me in. That is when she chooses you, not because you asked, but because she wants to. And there is nothing more attractive than that. If this message spoke to you, hit like, drop a comment, and share it with a man who needs to hear this today. Don't forget to subscribe for more masculine wisdom that helps you level up your mind, presence, and life. Now, let's anchor this lesson with power. Mystery isn't about hiding, it's about revealing wisely. You don't need to chase approval. You don't need to explain every move. A woman values what she discovers, not what she is handed too easily. Be the man she wonders about. Be the experience, not the convenience. Hold your space, protect your energy, and let curiosity work in your favor. Positive affirmation to comment below. I am a man of depth and mystery. Type it in the comments. Let the algorithm know you're stepping into your masculine energy today. 5. High-value lifestyle. A high-value lifestyle is not a trophy you show off. It's a quiet force that speaks without words. Don't confuse it with flashy suits, luxury cars, or photos of expensive dinners. Those things might get attention, but attention is cheap. Respect, on the other hand, must be earned. And the kind of respect that makes a woman choose you, even when she has many options, comes from the way you live, move, and think. That is where female psychology comes into play. Psychology tricks don't work unless they're rooted in truth. You must understand how to fall in love from her perspective. A woman is not pulled toward noise, she is drawn to depth. A high value lifestyle is simply a man living with purpose, clarity, and direction. It is the confidence you don't need to announce. It is the abundance that doesn't need to be advertised. Don't try to impress with status, impress with consistency, discipline, and emotional strength. Women don't truly fall for what shines. They fall for what stands firm when everything else shakes. A high-value lifestyle is built, not bought. It's a daily decision to rise above mediocrity. A man like that doesn't wake up chasing validation. He wakes up chasing his potential. That is the kind of man who naturally understands female psychology because he knows that a woman wants to feel something around him. She wants to feel safe, challenged, inspired, and respected, not controlled. Not impressed, elevated. And that elevation doesn't come from psychology tricks or sneaky manipulation. It comes from the way you treat your body, the books you read, the work you do, the people you keep around, and the standards you refuse to lower. Don't build a lifestyle to get a woman. Build a lifestyle that makes you proud, and the right woman will want to be part of it. That is how to fall in love, not through chasing, but through leading. Be the man whose schedule is full of meaningful activities. Be the man who invests in his health, his craft, his relationships, and his peace. That is high value. When your ambitions are real and your habits align with your goals, you exude an energy that cannot be faked. And women feel that. They sense the difference between presentation and presence. A man who lives with intention doesn't need to say he's valuable. His life already says it. In female psychology, This signals strength, direction, and emotional safety. She sees a man who doesn't need her, but chooses her. And that subtle distinction? That's one of the most powerful psychology tricks on earth. Because the man who is whole on his own doesn't seek to be completed, he seeks to be complemented. That is the type of man who knows how to fall in love without losing himself. Most men give their attention too freely. Don't. Your presence must be selective. Your attention must carry value. A high value lifestyle is not about closing doors, it's about opening the right ones and guarding your energy like it matters. Because it does. It's about building a life where your peace is protected, your growth is non negotiable, and your vision guides your decisions. That quiet power creates a gravitational pull. A woman feels that being with you is not a transaction, but an experience. You become the man whose energy changes the room. You don't declare your worth, you demonstrate it. And when your life already has motion, mission, and meaning, that is exactly how to fall in love from her point of view. It doesn't feel like pressure, it feels like opportunity. Don't confuse independence with isolation. A high value lifestyle doesn't mean locking yourself away. It means building a world so strong that someone would want to enter it. You must understand female psychology correctly here. Women don't want to rescue you, and they don't want to control you. They want to join you. They want to feel that being with you adds to their life, not replaces it. And when your life is already full of direction, discipline, emotional intelligence, and passion, you don't need psychology tricks to win her over. Your way of living becomes the most powerful message she could ever receive. She starts to imagine herself in your story. That is attraction at its deepest level, not external, but psychological. So ask yourself, is my life attractive even without romance? Would I be proud of my habits if no one was watching? Am I the man I expect others to admire? Because that is the real game. That is the key to understanding female psychology and how to fall in love the right way. A woman chooses the man whose life inspires her, not the man who chases her attention, but the one who walks with purpose. A high value lifestyle is simply this: align your actions with your vision, honor your potential, and let your standards speak louder than your words. When you live like that, you don't need to prove anything. Your presence becomes proof. And that, gentleman, is real power. 6. Understanding female psychology and subtle dominance. Understanding female psychology is not a trick. It's power. It's a strategy. It's the art of presence. Most men want attention, but few understand attraction. Women don't respond to noise. They respond to certainty. They don't chase the loudest man. They gravitate toward the most stable man. Your mission is not to impress, it is to imprint. Your job is not to pursue, it is to become the gravitational pull. Attraction is not an accident, it is a consequence. Women feel your energy before they hear your words. That is why Old Stoic wisdom still dominates modern relationships. That is why Stoicism wins. That is why your iron mind must speak louder than your mouth. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That is your foundation. That is your anchor. That is the key to becoming the man she chooses, even when she has many options. Do not let the modern world fool you. Social media screams for attention, but real value whispers. Real strength is silent. True dominance does not need validation. Women instinctively seek emotional security before physical attraction. They want to know, can he lead? Can he remain calm when tested? Can he protect my peace without losing his own? They might not ask it directly, but they will sense it deeply. As Carl Jung once said, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. That is Old Stoic wisdom in action. That is how you stand out. That is how you become the choice, not just another option. You must understand, women are biologically wired to detect the difference between strength and decoration. They seek certainty in a chaotic world. They respect a man who holds his center like an iron pillar, unmoved, unfazed, unshaken. That is the iron mind. That is subtle dominance. That is psychological presence. Many men fail because they try to impress, explain, or persuade, but attraction cannot be convinced. It must be felt. Don't stutter. Don't over-explain. Don't defend your worth. Demonstrate it. Women do not choose based on what you want, they choose based on what you are. Improve your discipline. Control your emotions. Command your space. The man who can master himself naturally masters her interest. In the age of instant distraction, attention is a rare currency. Use it wisely. Selective attention creates desire. Selective silence creates respect. Selective engagement creates magnetism. Any man can speak, but only a powerful man knows when not to speak. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. That is Stoicism win. That is leadership. That is presence. Give your attention intentionally, never automatically. When a woman senses that your focus must be earned, she leans in. She invests. She values. She decides. In her mind, your scarcity becomes value. That is psychology. That is nature. That is Old Stoic wisdom at work. Understand the psychology of challenge and respect. Respect her, but never abandon your boundaries. Listen to her, but never trade your values for approval. A man without standards is invisible, forgettable, replaceable. You must become the man who leads with principles, not emotions. You must be firm without being harsh, calm without being passive, unbreakable, but never rigid. That balance creates presence. That presence creates choice. She does not want a servant. She does not want a tyrant. She wants a man who chooses himself first, because a man who cannot lead himself cannot lead her. In relationships, women subconsciously study patterns, your reactions, your resilience, your moods, your habits. Do you break under pressure? Do you chase validation? Do you argue to win or listen to understand? Women feel everything. They detect shifts in energy faster than men detect changes in weather. Do not fear this, use it. Command your energy. Command your tone. Command your breathing. In every moment, lead with calm presence. That is your shield. That is your power. That is your silent dominance. A woman will choose a man she trusts over a man she simply desires. First, earn her respect. Desire will follow naturally. This is modern warfare, and inner mastery wins every battle. Dating apps, social media, endless options, all distractions. Most men collapse under comparison and competition. Don't join them. Rise above them. Play a different game. Become the rarest thing in today's world, a composed man, a focused man, a principled man, a man who embodies Old Stoic wisdom, lives the Stoicism win, and walks with an iron mind. Your goal is not to shout louder. Your goal is to stand firmer. Presence over performance. Silence over noise. Leadership over validation. Do that, and women won't just like you. They will choose you. They will respect you. They will feel drawn to you. Not because of tricks, but because nature recognizes strength. And when nature recognizes strength, you do not chase. You attract. You command. You win. 7. Calm in the face of expectation. The art of making her invest emotion first. Calm in the face of expectation is not weakness. It's high-value strength, the kind that only a high-value man understands. Most men panic when a woman doesn't respond, or when she seems distracted, or when she has many options. They start chasing, explaining, overthinking, and at that very moment, they lose their masculine energy and instantly become forgettable. Don't be that man. Be the one who knows that silence is not empty, it's loaded with power. Women emotionalize everything, but they only invest emotion when something makes them think, when something grabs their attention without begging for it. That is why you must not always reply instantly. You must not always be available. You must not rush to meet her expectation. Because every time you rush, she stops feeling. Every time you chase, she stops choosing. But when you stay composed, when you let stillness speak louder than words, suddenly, her mind starts running toward you. That is the psychology of reverse attraction. You don't push, you pull. You don't chase, you attract women. You must understand that a woman's mind is not interested in what is obvious. It is intrigued by what is uncertain. The moment you show her that you are calm, confident, and controlled, you activate her curiosity. And curiosity is where emotional investment begins. Don't fear distance. Don't fear silence. Don't fear waiting. Those fears belong to the majority, and the majority always loses. A high value man doesn't fold when expectations rise. He stands firm, he keeps his center, he lets his masculine energy speak before his words do. That is exactly when the real attraction begins, when she expects something from you, but you don't give it to her immediately. Not because you're trying to play games, but because you know the art of patience. When she sends a text and you don't jump to reply, she begins to wonder. When she tries to test your attention and you don't break your rhythm, she starts to think about you more. And when you don't try to impress her with effort, she feels something stronger than effort. She feels presence. That calm is not indifference, it's control. And control is a magnet for attraction. This is how you attract women without saying a word. You make her feel something in the gaps between your actions. The space you create becomes the space where her feelings grow. You must not rush to fill every silence with explanation. Don't try to convince her of your value. Demonstrate your value by how comfortable you are doing nothing. That right there is the secret most men never learn. Many men think the way to win a woman is to constantly show effort, to reply fast, to always be available, to prove they care. But all that does is prove scarcity, insecurity, and fear. That is needy energy, and nothing kills attraction faster than neediness. A high value man knows that if something is truly valuable, it never begs to be chosen. It lets value speak for itself. So be valuable. Be the man who has more to do than just impress a woman. Be the man who is busy building something. Be the man who doesn't chase attention because he's already in demand. That is masculine energy. A woman who truly feels that energy doesn't want to control it. She wants to be close to it. Your strength is not in what you say, it's in what you can hold. Your ability to stay calm when she tests you is proof that you are not an option, you are a priority. Never forget, the moment you stop reacting is the moment she starts investing. She can walk away from a man who tries too hard, but she always returns to the one who doesn't break his frame. Don't be predictable. Don't be easy to read. Be stable, not static. Be calm, not cold. Be present, but not always reachable. Women are drawn to mystery, not confusion, strength, not stubbornness. That is why your calm must have purpose, your distance must have intention, and your silence must be filled with substance. You must know who you are and where you're going. Because a woman doesn't truly follow words, she follows direction. And if you have direction, if your life has movement, purpose, and ambition, then she will feel something that goes beyond casual attraction. She will feel gravity. Gravity pulls things naturally. That is what it means to attract women without chasing them. When you master your emotions, when you self-regulate your impulses, when you hold your frame with confidence, you are doing what ancient Stoics taught long before dating apps existed. Control yourself completely, and the world begins to respond to you. That is not philosophy, it is power. It is modern dating's ultimate advantage. A woman does not invest heart into what tries too hard, but she invests deeply into what makes her think, wonder, and feel. So allow her mind to wander toward you. Let time work for you, not against you. Let distance create desire. Because when your energy is high value and your frame is solid, she won't just choose you, she'll pursue you. And that is how a man wins without chasing. If this video gave you real value, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and motivates me to bring you even more powerful insights. And hey, if you have any thoughts, questions, or feedback about the content, feel free to drop them in the comments. I read every one of them, and your opinion truly matters. Remember this, a confident man doesn't chase, he attracts. So go out there and be the one she chooses, not because you begged, but because you stood out. Until next time, stay smart, stay authentic, and always know your worth.